I recently ran an IG Q&A, and one of the questions I got was, what is the difference between creatine and creatine monohydrate? That's an interesting question. I'll get into the nitty gritty, but before I do that, make sure you share this with someone and hit that follow button so I don't have to be making a million videos about creatine anymore. I've probably made 500 already. So I guess shout out to creatine for keeping me employed, even though I don't get paid for this. Let's touch on that first part because creatine monohydrate is creatine. Like, that is the OG creatine, but there are other types of creatine that you might find in a supplement shop. So if you've never seen one of my videos about creatine, creatine is natural. Your body produces creatine. 95% of the creatine in your body is in your muscles. The other 5% is distributed between your brain, testes, kidneys, and liver. That's in no particular order. Primary role of creatine in the body is to combine with a phosphate group to form phosphocreatine, and phosphocreatine can then rapidly create ATP. ATP is like the energy currency of the body. In order to do anything, you use ATP. So to simplify, ATP equals energy. Creatine is now single-handedly the most well-studied supplement on the market ever of all time. And between muscle building, cognition, injury repair, energy levels, it's probably one of the best supplements to recommend to anyone of all time. And pretty much everyone should be taking it, especially because it's so cheap, and in order to get it from natural food sources, it's quite expensive. So supplementing it just makes sense. But now that you've got that context, let's get back to the original question. There are many forms of creatine on the market. This includes creatine nitrate, creatine citrate, creatine ethyl ester, and other buffered forms of creatine. And based on the literature we do have, they're less effective and usually more expensive. Creatine monohydrate, aka the GOAT, the OG, has an intestinal absorption of almost 100% and usually has a purity of 90%, and it's usually the cheapest. But there has been a new player in town, and he's been around for a while. It's called creatine hydrochloride. Creatine hydrochloride is said to be more soluble than creatine monohydrate. You'll see in front of your eyes that it will blend into the water better, unlike creatine monohydrate, which will kind of leave a little clump at the bottom. Creatine hydrochloride is about 38% more soluble in water and contains about 78 to 80%, I believe it was, of creatine by molecular weight, and it's usually more expensive. But is it more effective? No. It's not. Unless you look at just this one paper, which found statistically significant improvements in hydrochloride versus monohydrate. So to summarize all of that, hydrochloride is a little bit more expensive, and while I'm not disagreeing with anyone's feelings, but some people will claim that they like the absorption better, or if they feel better taking it, that's fine. But the reality is, with creatine hydrochloride, you get less creatine that when matched for molecular weight of creatine is equally as effective as creatine monohydrate and is therefore significantly more expensive. So if you like creatine hydrochloride, great. Creatine monohydrate is still definitively the king of creatine, and it is also the cheapest. So if you're keen on creatine, get yourself some creatine monohydrate, and if you want to support me, you can get yours from Gorilla Mind using code EVIDENCE. Hope you guys have yourselves a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to share this one, please.